Do you ever have a day that is so stressful that you just lie on the floor on your back and stare at the ceiling for a while? Well, congratulations. You're already doing yoga. What do you think of when you hear yoga? Some might think of people in gym clothes attending classes. Others might think of people in earth toned clothing going to meditation retreats. But whatever you think of, yoga can be intimidating because there's so much to it. Yoga originated in ancient India as a spiritual practice to create union between the body and mind. There have been archaeological findings as early as 3500 BCE, and then you move to the Vedic period where the word yoga was first used. Then the classical period, in around 800 BCE, where Patanjali first formalized the teachings of yoga. And now, today, you have modernized versions and many different kinds of yoga that have all been transformed over the years. But the basic of yoga is simple. By using breath work and being conscious of body posture and body movement, we create physical and mental health benefits. And it doesn't have to be intimidating. Even 10 to 15 minutes of yoga a day can have an impact on your health if you practice regularly. But before we get into the physical benefits of yoga, let's have a little refresher on how our joints and muscles work. So, our joints are held together by ligaments with connective tissue called cartilage and move with the help of synovial fluid that lubricates the joints. Then our muscles are made up of different fibers that allow us to extend and contract them. And together we have movement. How does yoga benefit our muscles and joints? When we practice yoga, we're stretching those muscles out, increasing blood circulation and getting that synovial fluid moving in our joints. And it is essential to stay moving so that our muscles and joints stay healthy. When we don't move, they can become sore and tight. We become easily fatigued and can even be more easily injured. But yoga doesn't just benefit us by stretching. It also helps us build strength in our muscle and joints. Harvard Health Publishing has many articles showcasing how yoga can be a great low impact exercise that increases blood flow, improves joint mobility, and circulation. The Johns Hopkins Arthritis Center also has done studies showing that practicing yoga can reduce the pain in multiple types of arthritis and even help with chronic pain conditions. I want to add, it is really important to be conscious of your stretching and watch beginner videos so that you don't stretch or move wrong and injure yourself. So now we've heard about the physical health benefits. Let's talk about the mental health benefits. Some of the biggest components of yoga is breath work and meditation. So I want everyone to sit or stand up straight, drop those shoulders, and we're going to take in a deep breath from our diaphragm, breathing in for 4 and out for 4. So 1 and out. Great. So Harvard Health Publishing and the National Institute of Health has done studies about how breathing and meditation can help us by lowering our heart rate, lowering blood pressure, and even lowering the stress hormone cortisol. This can help us with everyday stress and anxiety, and it can even boost our cognitive functions. But not only does this yoga exercise help us with stress, it can also have an impact on sleep. An analysis in 2025 by the Harbin Sports University in China found that yoga is one of the top exercises to help with sleep because it lowers our heart rate and promotes relaxation. So we've heard the physical benefits, we've heard the mental health benefits, but how easy is it to start? You don't need a fancy yoga mat and you don't need yoga clothing. As long as you have a blanket or a comfortable area where you're not going to slip and slide around and you have loose fitting clothing that allows you to move easily, you're set. There are also many yoga poses that can be done just from standing or can be modified to do while sitting in a chair. If I have a few minutes to myself or I find myself needing to refocus, I take a couple minutes to do a few yoga poses wherever I am. So I know we've covered a lot. We've learned about the origins of yoga. We've learned about muscles and joints and how yoga can benefit us both physically and mentally. And you could remember the words like Urdhva Hastasana or even Pandasana, but it's a lot easier to know that you're just reaching to the sky and touching your toes. And that even these short, manageable movements for 10 to 15 minutes a day can provide incredible health benefits. And so, with that, I end my speech.